Hello, it's Shelley F Knight, bringing you Positive Changes, a self-kick podcast.
So today on the show, we're joined by Nicky Alan, and Nicky is a psychic medium, famous author, freelance magazine writer, and an angel communicator. So hello to Nicky.
Hello. I don't know about famous, darling. Well, I hope so one day.
No, you are. It's popping up all over my social media. You've sold out twice on Amazon. Famous, best-selling.
I know, and it's gone to #1 in my genre. I can't believe it. Mind you, I can, because the angel's like, get it out, it will work. And I'm like, no, it won't. Yes, it will. So after a domestic with the angels, I thought, oh my God, I better put it out.
You have to, don't you? That you just get a spiritual slap otherwise, I find.
They will not leave you alone, will they? Until you do what they know is right. Even if you're kicking and screaming, you're like, it's not going to happen. It's not. And then how they laugh when it does happen. Everything goes brilliantly. And you're like, yeah, whatever, whatevs.
But I'm with the angels. As much as I love you, I'm going to side with the angels because I absolutely loved your book. So your
Thank
book,
you so much.
Oh no, I did love it, and I'm going to tell you why. So It's called M.E. Myself and I, Diary of a Psychic, which I love. Love a play on words, love a pun.
Yeah.
So it's your journey of M.E. Fibromyalgia, but so much more as well.
Yeah.
And I loved it. It was like, obviously I loved it because it had positive changes in it.
Yeah, of course.
But with the true story of positive changes, it was like the raw diary entries in there. And then these dollops of spirituality. It was like A to Z of spirituality. And I absolutely loved it.
Thank you so much. I was worried to begin with because I'm crossing genres, because you normally, when you're doing books, or what genre are you in? And I'm like, well, it's self-help, it's memoir, it's also spiritual. So it was all these different genres. And obviously when you speak to the publishers or you send it out, they're like, oh yes, well, it's crossing genres. I'm like, so? That makes it unique, doesn't it? And that feedback has come back 100-fold, where people say, oh my God, it's so different. It's not only your journey in a specific time slot, you've also got the spiritual element, the self-help element, and the fact that anybody, you don't even have to have chronic illness, anybody that's been in any darkness will get something from this book. And I honestly never for a million years, just a minute ago, we were just chatting before this, and I'm sitting there and I just really connect to you. And I'm thinking, my God, I'm blessed. And if you had told me that, 7 years ago, whatever, I've gone, yeah, whatever. I'm just going to rot in my bed forever and think of suicide. And talking to all these most beautiful people. You're the first one in the UK, actually. So I'm actually talking during a normal time. Yeah. Most of them are US and Canada. So I'm like, 11 o'clock at night type thing, going, oh yes, hello.
Feeling awfully English.
People. And I say things because the worst thing is, you just said it's a great play on the book, M.E., or the pun.
Yeah.
But in America, it's like flat on its face because they call it C.F.S. So the first thing, one of the first interviews said, what's M.E.? And I'm like, oh my God, that's just totally ruined my title in the US.
Yeah. That took me 3 weeks to come up with that. Shelley loved it. What's the matter with you?
No, do you know what? It just popped in my head, as it is in the book. I was sitting in the car park, so emotional, watching everybody play on the beach, and the sea was just like, abroad. It was stunning. And then it just popped in there. Me, myself and I thought, oh my God, that's what the title's got to be. So they pretty much, I can't really take any credit apart from just typing it, because they were just telling me what to write, telling me what the title was, dropping the graphic designer, Verity Rock, who's amazing, in my lap and said, oh, do your book cover. It just literally flowed. And that's another thing that we need to take from this, is when you take any project on, anybody listening, if you take any project, any goal, anything you want to go for, if it flows and you have to make no effort whatsoever, then the universe has got your back and it's supposed to be doing what it's doing. If it just keeps going wrong and you're fighting and fighting and fighting to get something, then sometimes that means the universe is saying, no, it's poor timing. So I know that as soon as it went straight out and the publisher, within, I think it was a week, said, yep, we'll have it. I was like, wow, okay then. And then the rest has just gone. So it's angel led. But then, I live in abundance now. It's really weird because I remember beginning of the year, because of my limbs working, I couldn't have a manual car anymore because my arms were killing me, my foot on the clutch, I was getting muscle spasms, and I thought, this is ridiculous. And it was leaking as well, to be fair. So that was another reason. There was stuff coming through the roof. And I just thought, I haven't got any credit though. How can I do this? And I just knew that I'd be okay. And so I said, right, all I want is an upgraded version of my car. Can you just, I need an automatic, please help me, angels. And literally within an hour, I'd bought a car and got credit for it. And it's wow. You know, so things just flow. And this is what I want to try and share with people, that all they've got to do is surrender to whatever's going on, you know, let go of their past, and then have this self-love and the fact that they deserve abundance. And it really does work. It's not magical. You know, I've read so many books where they go, this is how you can change your life. And you have to do like shed loads of stuff, don't you? Like, really? Yeah. Especially if you're tired, you're like, no, I don't think so. Whereas mine's really simple, just changing mindsets, changing your thought processes so they don't lead to emotion and behaviour. And it's really simple. It really is. It's not hard work. You don't have to sit there ooming it out, you know, and working hard. It's just going with the flow and letting them in. Let them in, and they will show you the miracles that they showed me. It's that simple. And, you know, the other thing is that, you know, I was worried that people would think, oh, yeah, well, you're already spiritual, you know, of course it's going to happen for you. I was not, though. As it quite clearly says in the book, I was effing and blinding the whole time, raging at them, feeling forsaken, abandoned. I hated them. I'd lost all my faith. Yeah. So they had to drag me back into getting my faith and believing in them, and I didn't. You know, so that's what I love about it, is that I just didn't want to play with them. I did not want to play at all. At the right ump.
I loved your book. It just made me laugh so much, like you're making me laugh now, because bless you, you know, like when you go through something in life and like people come on, they share their positive change. And I could relate to your life as I relate to mine. Like you think you hit rock bottom and then you're like, oh my God, it's got a basement, and you just keep falling.
Mine had sub-basement 1, sub-basement 2. And I'm like, how far are you going to take me? I want lingerie. I want holiday basement. I don't want bloody sub-basement 659.
But it was just one thing after another, wasn't it?
Yeah. And do you know what? I remember visualising back then when they first started the spiritual boot camp, that obviously I talk about in Me, Myself and I, and I envisaged me sitting, talking about the book and laughing about the state I was in. That was one of my things. Oh, yes, it was really bad. And I thought, God, is that ever going to happen? Is it ever going to happen? Because it literally was. And this is why I think I'm such, not a pioneer, but it wasn't just one thing. You know, some people say, oh, you know, I was going through a divorce, or I lost my home, or I lost my job. I lost everything that anybody could hold dear on a material value, as well as my health, my friends, my life, everything just went bang, gone. And so I'm really glad I was stripped bare, because it can also show that no matter how much of a bottom you reach, you can always get back up to the top again, you know? Yeah. And I'm absolutely grateful. I know it sounds weird because I've obviously still got the condition, but I'm so grateful that I had this situation, this accident, this illness, because now I'm the most confident. I love myself. I feel whole, and I don't feel like I've got an armor anymore. You know, as from my YouTube videos, I just sit in my PJs and talk a load of old spiritual stuff in no makeup. I haven't brushed my hair. Look, can you see I've made an effort today, Shelley? I hope you appreciate it.
I'm blushing. Thank you so much. It's interesting what you say. So you, in the book, you say that you had this accident. So I asked like the audience of Shelley F Night what it was. And there are, you know, sometimes you think there'd be a massive variety of what triggered their fibromyalgia or ME.
Yeah.
And there's not. There's only a few things that they all had like in relation to each other. So it seemed that they thought that their condition was triggered by a physical trauma.
Yeah.
Somebody fell down the stairs. Someone else had a car accident. So physical trauma, emotional trauma.
Yeah.
Overworking or over-exercising after a virus.
Yeah.
Sexually abused as a child.
I'm ticking all of these at the moment.
Yeah. Should write book 2. Life-changing event, which wasn't always a physical. It was like dad being diagnosed with terminal illness, bitter divorce, looking after ill children, being a single mum, being a sole carer for a loved one or striving for perfection. So there wasn't a great variation, apart from my mother, Nicky. I'm just going to read out my mother's one. This is a classic. Anyone that knows my mum will be like, yes, that's very Lynette. Damaged DNA from our ancestors was my mother's answer.
Wow, I need to meet your mum.
Don't get her excited,
profound.
love. Yeah,
this sounds very profound.
Yeah, so everyone,
DNA from our ancestors.
Yeah, everyone else, something happened in this life. My mother, past life.
Well, no, I can agree with that. Perhaps if it wasn't let go of in a previous life, you know, because really interestingly, she's got quite a valid point there. I'm just going to say that because I know that she follows me and I want to keep her in good books.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
Otherwise your magazine will drop, won't it? You won't be, the magazine sales will drop through the floor otherwise.
But it's weird because when I met my guide Khan, who I introduced my 3 guides, I mean myself and I, right? And when I met him, he took me back to my previous life with him. And I was bound and by my feet and my ankles, raped and killed by a white man that took over our land in Arizona. And so he then said to me, and it was such a revelation, he goes, and I broke both my wrists. The times that I've ripped my ankle, because I was very sporty. I know I don't look like it now, darling, but I was a very sporty girl. And I ripped the ligaments in my ankle so many times, it was ridiculous. And he said, why do you think you've got weak ankles and wrists? And he goes, and why do you think you now look after murder and rape victims? Oh. So it was almost like I was healing my previous life from being a family liaison officer in the police for rape and murder victim families. So I'm so sorry. Can you hear the dogs?
It's fine.
They are barking away. Bloody hell. They are so quiet. They were sleeping. As soon as they know that I'm here with the lights on doing my thing, that's it. They want the limelight.
See, I love all the past life thing. I actually was a past life regressionist. Maybe I still am. I just don't practice it. But I was. Wow. Yeah. And just, this isn't about my mum. Anyone tuning in, this is not purely about my mum. But my mum killed me in a past life. She was one of those people. God. This is my long COVID brain coming in. But you know, they used to hang you in the market square.
Yeah.
Who was the person who used to up thing. Yeah. Oh and she says, Shelley, I don't think I'd have done that because I hate anything around my throat and I've had throat cancer. I went, that's why.
That's why.
That's why. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Shall I tell you my quick story about how I found
love, yeah.
my guide, Julianus? This is incredible, right? Because I'm an open-minded skeptic, always have been. So I kind of look at the spirit world a bit like I did as a detective. I need proof, I need evidence.
Yeah.
And so I remember when I got retired from the police service, that's when it all started. It all kicked off massively. The house was alive with spirit people, things exploding and God knows what. And they wanted me to work for them. Anyway, I was out in the garden and it was kind of half sleep, half meditation. And it was a really hot day and I found myself freezing cold in this cave, water dripping down. I could smell the sulphur, really dark. And then suddenly the rock went, I thought it was Jesus. The rock went across. Oh my God, no, that people are moaning about that and say a bit, no, I'm not being anti-religious at all. But anyway, the rock opened and this man said, come out here. And I recognised him as this scruffy bloke. Now, you might know this because none of the people in the US know. Joe Steptoe.
Yes. Steptoe and Son.
Right, Harold. That
yes.
One. It's a bit like him. I didn't get some gorgeous Robert De Niro looker. Do you know? And I'm like, oh my God, I recognise you. I've been seeing him since I was a kid in my dreams and stuff. And I just used to think, scruffy old man in a brown habit. Yeah, no. And but I looked into his eyes and I knew him. And he said, this is where we met and this is how I connect with you as your guide. And I said, where are we? And as we walked out, it was red hot, cypress trees. And he said, we're in Trastevere, Rome, 1452. I'm like, right, okay. And I'm thinking, remember that for Google. That for Google. And so he then flashes and we end up in this square, in this courtyard, and there's these like pillars and there's a church that said St. Cecilia's. And he said, in 1452, you were welcomed into the house of Mary Magdalena. And he goes, and your name was Mary. I went, right, okay. And I thought, I don't know what he means by you've been welcomed. I thought, fair play. So we walked through these columns and there was this beautiful fountain and then it goes through to the chapel and then there's the quarters where the nuns are and all the rest of it. And then we stood in front of a crypt and then this bloke comes up and says, I'm Nicholas. And then he put a 5 up in my head, Nicholas V. And he kissed my forehead and he said, I presided over you during this time. And then they said, come, let's make haste. Ave Mary is upon us, looking up at the sky. And then it ended. And I was like, oh my God. So I'm trying to Google it and things keep coming up. But then when I hit on them, it says page not found. And I was getting so frustrated. And I thought, I know what I'm going to do. I bought a ticket to Rome.
Oh, wow.
So I thought, if I'm going to tell thousands, hundreds, whatever, of people about my experiences, I need to back it up, right? So I got a ticket, went to Rome, just threw all my stuff in a hotel room, got in a taxi and said, take me to St. Cecilia's Church in Trastevere. Went to see, right? And I thought, oh, hang on a minute. Drove me there and I started crying. He thought I was a nutter. And I was sitting in the square with the columns below St. Cecilia's Church. And as you look through the columns, I could see the ruin of the fountain right in the courtyard. I couldn't believe it. I found a bust of Julianus, and I found out that in 1452, nuns were allowed to then live in the house of Mary Magdalena on site. The women were allowed in 1452. And I found out that we were San Franciscan nuns and monks, and you had to do a sabbatical in a cave to find yourself and purify yourself. Oh. And then they'd open up and say, right, you've done your thing. So I'm like, wow, this is amazing. So then I thought Vatican because of Pope Nicholas V. So I run into the Vatican. I don't know if you've ever been there. There's tens of thousands of people there, right? And so I go up to this guide and I get a bit leery with him. So I said, where's Pope Nicholas V's crypt? He goes, no, madam, no, madam. And I said, yes, where is it? He goes, no. And I went, oh, forget it. And I was really rude to him. I thought, oh my God, what's wrong with me? I was like this banshee, right? And I just march across these thousands of people. And I find this tiny little door, this cement doorway, and I walk straight into it. Second crypt on the right. I am laying over it, crying my eyes out, like it was a family member, to the effect that some nuns come up and said, are you okay? And sat me down. And that, should we get an ambulance? Should we get? And I'm like, no, it's all right. I'm just a nutter who was just coming back from a previous life. So after they left me and like got me a glass of water and everything, I walked over to the crypt, and it was Pope Nicholas V who presided over the diocese of Trastevere in St. Cecilia's in 1452.
Couldn't
believe it. Smashed down. So when I came out, after crying my eyes out and being a complete nutter, the guide found me. He found me, goes, you're a very special lady. He said, he goes, no, it's not in the guidebooks. How did you know about this? And I thought, I'm not going to start telling him. He goes, I spoke to an old superintendent here, and he said that, yes, it is him, but it's not in the guidebooks for some reason. And it ended up him taking me round to the private quarters, right, with this armed guard, and they got me holy water from the Pope's private font.
Goodness.
And I healed my dog's tumour with one of those. Yeah, I healed my dog's tumour with the holy water. Mina, it's incredible. So yes, I now know that 100% we have previous lives. I know 100% that our guides connect with us, and I just need to now Arizona now, because Catherine, she's from Cornwall, but that's that, you know, I just live near Cornwall, so that's no great shakes. However, Khan is from Arizona, so that's a good excuse to get to Arizona and find out where I was there.
Keep doing those book sales.
Hey, yeah, exactly. I'd be like throwing them out everywhere like confetti. Hey, have some of this. Read about me. So yeah, there's my story for guides.
Bless you. Wow.
It's a big wow, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cost me a blinking fortune though. Let's go over there.
Priceless, love, priceless.
Definitely.
So in your book, I know you talk about you guys a bit, but in your book, you sort of take us from, you start when you're still in the police force, don't you?
Yeah.
And you're sort of living life, I think you say burning the candles at both ends. Never
understood
that saying.
God, yes.
Do you think that was the trigger of like your illness there, that sort of like doing it all? Or was it another event?
I think, obviously, the trauma I had as a child, you know, with my dad passing, trust me to get a weak throat now. My dad passing, obviously I then had the abusive years, but I did get glandular fever when I was a teenager. And I'm just wondering if that was the beginning of it. But I think that I tired myself out so much trying to be someone that I wasn't, trying to hide all the pain and the hurt and the contempt for myself. I think I exhausted myself, you know, throughout that time. Obviously I had a complete breakdown when I got retired from the police service, because that was just really unfair, and I was just literally left, you know, as soon as you're retired nobody really cares about you, you're just a non-entity, and they were my family.
Yeah.
The police, you know, you play hard, you work hard, you know, and to suddenly be cut away from that, I was really resentful. So that was my first kind of breakdown. And I just think that the accident was the straw that broke the camel's back. That just smashed it into, right, that is it now, you're closing down, you can't take any more. And literally, I got into the hospital. The paramedics had to get me out on gas and air. And I got into the hospital and I thought, my God, I've broken bones. I just could imagine loads of problems going on internally. And then when they come back and said, oh, it's all clear, you've only got soft tissue damage. I'm like, what? Because they were pumping me with morphine. So I was up on the ceiling. I was in agonizing pain. And they said, no, you know, it's just shock and soft tissue damage. And then I got back home. Well, I was renting a place down here in Devon. And I remember going to sleep and I just slept a whole day and night. Woke up and it was, I think it was early evening, it was still light. And I looked up to the light and my eyes, oh my goodness, it was like someone had just stabbed my eyes with hot pokers. The light burnt through me and I just had to close my eyes. And then I realised that my whole body was just felt heavy, in agonising pain. And I went to get up and I just fell on the floor, just like a sack of spuds. I just hit the floor. I thought, this isn't right. They've missed something really serious here. And then my friend was there, and Dick. Do you like him? I called him Dick.
I love it when you're in a relationship, Nick and Dick. It sounded like a match made in heaven. I know, Nick and Dick. It sounded like a match made in heaven. It wasn't.
God. Oh, no. It was horrific. It was the biggest mistake of my life, but then hey ho. And they had to lift me to the toilet and hold me on the toilet. And it was just, what the hell's going on? And then I just slept and slept and slept. I felt so depressed. I couldn't see. I couldn't understand what people were telling me. They put a telly in the room and I couldn't understand the words. I didn't know what they were saying. I couldn't take it. It was just like, I was absolutely terrified. I ended up going back to A&E. And again, they couldn't find anything wrong. They just put it down to shock. But then that led to a plethora of tests and it took a year for me to be diagnosed. And basically it's a process of elimination, because you'll find that people with M.E.C.F.S Fibromyalgia, they all are as healthy, as fit as a flea. Fit as a flea on paper. You may have a bit of deficiency with vitamin D. You may have iron deficiency. There may be a problem with vitamin B levels. Apart from that, absolutely no other clues whatsoever. And so once they've exhausted every possible way forward, they just give you that label, send you on your way with a plethora of bloody painkillers and God knows what, and just say, get on with it. That's it. That's all you get. There was when I finally decided to reach out, and it's in the book. I finally decided to reach out and I got struck off because I was too ill to attend. Go figure. I managed to get to the pain clinic and he told me that I had to do Tai Chi. I couldn't even lift my head off the pillow. You know, I was wheelchair bound and most of the time I just put a jumper over my pajamas because I couldn't dress myself. And I got someone to drive me there and I was just an absolute wreck. And he looked at me and goes, what, you're not even going to try? I said, you've got no clue about ME, have you? Or chronic fatigue syndrome. I said, what the hell are you talking about? I can't even hold a fork. How am I going to raise my arms and start doing Tai Chi and be some la person? And I got really angry and upset with him. I was a very, very angry person at the time, very angry. And I just went, you know what, forget it. And he goes, what, you don't want to come back? He goes, you're refusing to come back. I said, no, I'm not refusing, but you're not offering anything that will help us. I said, I asked you about hydrotherapy. And you said, oh no, that's just for people getting over accidents. I said, what? That would be perfect for ME sufferers and fibromyalgia sufferers, to be in a warm swimming pool, just moving our limbs. No, we don't offer that. And the only other option was the MS Centre, who were brilliant in Exeter, here where I live in Devon. And they said, by all means, you're welcome to come to the hyperbaric chamber and any services we provide. But it was 40 minutes away, 50 minutes away. Who's going to drive me every day? You know, plus it would be too exhausting to get there and back. You'd end up sleeping, wouldn't you? Yeah. And so really, we are definitely, you know, I think it started over in America, the millions missing, and it's absolutely true, because you're just left. And, you know, you just said earlier about a single mum. How the hell? I get so many emails from parents that have got it and their husbands leave them because they think they're just being lazy and they're left with children. There's one lady, she's got 3 handicapped children and she's coping with ME and fibromyalgia. I'm like, how the hell are you doing it? How are you doing it? And she said, I've got no choice. I've got to drag myself. So it's a living death. These poor people, you know, dragging themselves through their lives without any help. And so if we can't change the condition, we can at least change our mindset and try all the various holistic therapies, because some of them do help. You know, bone therapy was a good one, and so was acupuncture. And obviously the LDN has helped me massively. The LDN is why I can sit here now and talk to you, you know. And so there are things you can try. So I love the people that go, yep, give me that, I'll have a go. Not the ones that go, oh, I'm not very well, but no, I don't want to try that. You've got to be a trier. You've got to try anything, because you might find that, you know, not having gluten, taking dairy out of your diet, restricting sugar, stopping alcohol. Me stopping alcohol. Oh my God, that's so funny. My friends in the police, right, knew me as a party girl. I drank like a fish. Now I'll have one glass. I think the last time I had a drink was when I was on holiday. And I think it was a gin and tonic, that was it. And then I had a glass of wine around my other half's family's place the other day. That's it. I've drunk about twice in a year.
Because I'm a teetotal, you see, so I'm already there.
There you go. Good. I am, to be honest with you, it's just now and then I might have a sip of one, but it just might, you know, the good thing about this is you start listening to your body. Your intuition gets so strong that your body goes, I don't want that. It's like recently I have been obsessed with eating honey.
Is it
my
the
body
manuka?
needs honey. Yeah, really weird. So I'm like, right, okay, so listen to my body. So I'm having like honey on bread and honey on bananas and God knows what. It wants honey. So I think, right, you have honey then. And it obviously says, I want chocolate. And I go, of course, you have to have chocolate.
Yeah, so I have that. You need a cup of tea, you need a muffin, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was incredible how my body, and they said this, so I remember them saying that lots of things are going to change with your body. My body literally spat out, and I mean both ends, anything that wasn't wrong with it. So caffeine went out. And I used to be a big tea drinker, tea out. Never really drank coffee. I now love coffee. My whole brain concept, I don't know if it is to do with the neuro symptoms, it changes all of your tastes.
Yeah.
But I can't, cup of tea. Oh, no. So I drink herbal tea now. I'm a herbal tea drinker, baby.
Yeah, I've got a herbal tea with me today.
Yeah, I can't, caffeine. I think if I had a sip of caffeine, I'd be on the floor. I just don't have caffeine. No, can't go near it. So I'm pleased that I now respect what's going in as well. You know, in respect of what you eat and what you consume, as well as what I expose myself to. So I've now got the courage as well to think, I don't really like that person, I don't want to be in their company, I choose not to. And when you start owning that, when you start owning the fact that you deserve to be around lovely people that are genuine, that's what you attract. So all of my friends now, the most magnificent, beautiful, honest, loyal, kindest friends you could possibly imagine. And a couple of those, you know, 3 of those are from my police days. Yeah. You know, I've known for 30 years that are just there. And they're all spiritual now as well. I love it. One's an angel Reiki master. The other one's an animal Reiki master. I love it. They're like turned into gurus. I'm like, well, you can't be my friend unless you're spiritual. I'm only joking. But they've found their path as well, you know. And so it's just a beautiful life to be in. And I never imagined, I'd never felt like this before the accident, even though, you know, Colin Fried asked me to go and work with him and him to manage me and everything. And I literally ticked off every box that a medium would want to do. You know, do the stage work, the TV, not in an egotistical way, but to just get there and say, I know what I'm doing, listen to me. Yeah. There's so many plums out there. Really, there are though, aren't they? Just think, really? Jesus. And so I really thought, that's it, I'm here now. I've got a platform where people will listen and I can help people. It's all I care about, is helping people. I don't know why my nose is itchy. It's something when spirit about.
Yeah, cobwebs, isn't it?
Yeah, I've got it over my nose. I think it might be my dad. I'm not sure. I'm trying to work out. No, I think it's my nan. Yeah, I can smell her. Hello, Nanny. Can't see, I can smell her. Anyway, sorry about that.
I just hope she smells nice, like a talcum powder kind of smell, not wee.
No, I know. You can't have a wee, can you? Oh my God, no. She is a bit of a mothbally mixed with talcum powder smell.
Yeah.
You know, that bit of a
that is nan smell.
Mixed with, that's nan, yeah, that's her smell. There's a bit of citrusy smell coming in as well. That's weird. I can't even see her. Oh well, it's because I'm doing this, so I can't see her properly. I can just smell her. I love you, Nanny. Anyway, you guys become to be nosed there. What's going on then?
What's this thing called a podcast? Is it like the wireless?
Well, exactly. Well, then, do you know, it's like when she came, as I mentioned, when she came and said, go on Facebook, I thought, Jesus, you've come all this way through the ether to tell me to go on Facebook. And then she just toddles off through the wall. It's the same Nan. And yeah, she was the one that got me on the LDN, bless her. Perhaps she's here because of that. I've had so many synchronicities recently. I just found a penny in the car. And it was definitely, I don't have change. There's no way a penny could be in the middle of the car seat. And it arrived just as I got off the beach. I put it on YouTube, actually, on my channel. And it was 2010. And that's when I first started setting the scene of the book.
Ah.
It's almost like they're saying, well done, darling, you know. And then
Quite
I found
literally the pennies dropped.
Yeah, and then I found the next one was 2012 in my bed.
Oh.
Random. Yeah, random. And yeah, 2012. And that's obviously when it all kicked off and when the accident happened. So I'm like, thank you. And then my bee keeps going past, which I know is my mum now. I get, even now, this time of year, I keep seeing the bee fly past. I'm waiting for it today. It normally does it every single day. So that's something. Yeah, that's lovely. It's just lovely to know you're spiritually supported. And this is what people need to know, is you're not alone. It doesn't matter what your belief system is.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, you know, what you think of angel realms or spirit people. Just surrender and give it a go. How can it hurt? And that's what I put in the book, don't I?
Yeah.
Can it really hurt for you to just say, well, if you're there, can you help me? And they will.
Yeah.
Incredible. I honestly didn't imagine they could pull off what they did. To lose my debt, you know, that was 65 grand. To get that sorted within a day because of Archangel, someone called Raguel turned up. And I'm like, I'm Raguel. I'm like, I've never heard of you, mate.
Have you got a more famous mate?
And then I Google it, and he's an Archangel of balance and getting things sorted and debt. And I'm like, okay, I'll have a go at that, and got rid of it. But hang on, I digressed. Yeah, so when we go back to the police, when I was with Holly, I'm a bloody nightmare, aren't I? Obviously, you know, I ticked all the boxes I wanted to do then. And then I was on the top of my industry. Everybody wanted to do things. I was having offers for all sorts of TV stuff, book deals and all the rest of it. And then bang, it all went. What was the whole point of me saying about that? Can you remember? A whole book. That's a miracle in itself.
That'd be the most random interview ever. You got you with your M.E. and Fibromyalgia. I'm here with long COVID trying to be half decent. Do you know what I mean?
Oh God, I can't even remember what I was talking about now. I just remember standing on stage with Colin Fry and I'm thinking, yeah, I'm going somewhere with this. I can't bloody remember.
Oh, well, I've got long COVID because I haven't got a clue either.
I don't think it is long COVID,
You're
darling.
not?
I
No.
really do think that you may unfortunately be one of our lot.
Did I catch it from your book?
I hope and pray that it goes and that you're well. But if it doesn't, then I think you may be looking at this condition, darling.
Oh. Did I catch it from your book?
Yeah, I'm giving it out to everybody because I'm not doing it on my own. Yeah, I'm sick of people walking around and having a life.
Those missing millions, you're a few short of the millions missing, so you thought you'd make a few more.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, have a few more over in here in the UK. Just to add 6,000 already.
Bless you. I think we were saying, like, because we're saying like the positive changes, like most guests come on and they have one positive change, but you had the police force and your dad died. I think there was abuse in there and debt and your health and Nick and Dick. Don't forget Nick and Dick, that's the classic. And then you got sort of, you know, your positive changes with like the miracles and the self-discovery and things like that. And then your nan came in because you said LDN, which is the low dose Naltrexone.
Yeah.
Which I only know from my nursing days. We used to give it to people who'd try to take their life with opioids, like overdosed, or the alcoholics. So with my really highly professional level of market research, asking Facebook followers, I did ask them. They're amazing because they're the ones, apart from my mother, sorry mum, but you were out there with your DNA, but they were the ones that were saying it was abuse, just being tired, you know, trying for perfectionism, things like that. They were the ones I said to them, have you ever heard of LDN, this low dose Naltrexone? No one.
I know.
Do you mean? And I've got over like, well, I think you were my 1.4 follower, weren't you? You made me up to 1,400. You were my 100.
Yay!
Thank you, lovely.
I'll share your page, darling, because it's brilliant.
Oh, thank you. But out of like 1.4 thousand people, no one has heard of it.
Terrible, isn't it?
And it's so dirty cheap, isn't it? That's why the NHS use it. But it's so cheap.
It's a non-profit drug. that's why they won't use it. What happened is the man who created it, it was also used, it was the first drug base for people to live with HIV as well, because it's an opiate drug, a slow release opiate drug. It basically was used for that, as well as people with opiate issues such as alcoholism and all that kind of stuff. And so his wife had MS. And so I thought, I wonder, with all, because it's got, obviously, it deals with neuro, it deals with everything, pain and God knows what. So I wonder if a smaller dosage would work and help my wife. And it did. And she started living a normal life. But the thing is, he didn't want it to go through the FDA, because he knew from my perception from reading about him and watching the videos on the website, that he didn't want it to go out to pharmaceutical companies, because they will whack a hefty price on it, because it's so effective. So the problem with that is he kicked himself in the foot because it didn't go through the FDA. So it's known as a red label drug. And the only reason I know about it is because my nan told me about it, as I would never have known. And it's a postcode lottery, because where I used to live, when I was in my cemetery house, after I was homeless, in my cemetery house. Did you see the photos on my Facebook page?
Yeah, and I just thought,
really cute.
Well, I couldn't do it. It's got 4 kids, a dog and a husband, too many crystals. I couldn't physically fit in, but I just thought, I'd love to live there.
You could. It was 3. Well, it's 3 bedrooms. Oh no, you got too many kids. So anyway, I went to my first doctor. Was absolutely disgusting. I think I mentioned in the book about it, where she just said, it's not as if you're disabled, you haven't got a broken arm, broken leg, why don't you just get yourself together and start working again? She was literally talking to me like a piece of crap. And I just, now I would go, how dare you? I'm going to the practice manager now. But then I was just a mess, and I just ended up crying, snatched my prescription of more mind-numbing, zombifying drugs. I was taking up to 38 tablets a day. Pumping myself with morphine, and I thought, no. And then I can't remember when it was, it's a bit of a haze, but I remember thinking, no, I've got to phone up. I think one of the angel realms or my guide had pushed me to phone them again, and I asked for a different doctor. He was magnificent, Dr. Bromwich at Gampton Surgery, for those people in the Bay that might listen. And he immediately prescribed it, and he goes, it's not a problem, I prescribe it for MS patients. Yet he knew all about it, thought it was a brilliant drug. So I had it for free. And then obviously when I managed to get my house in Somerset, which I needed to make money to come back here, you'll find out about it in the book, they wouldn't give it to me. Never heard of it, not giving it to you. Doctors where I was in Somerset were rubbish again. But thank the heavens, my doctors where I am now in my surgery are amazing. However, they still have the code that they will not prescribe this. So I have to get it privately. And as you say, it's really cheap. It's £20 a month. That is priceless. So I'd pay £100 a month, to just be able to get up and function. And it's basically compounded in a clinic in Glasgow. You phone the doctor up there and say, right, I've been diagnosed with ME Fibro, MS, Hashimoto's, lupus, cancer. It literally covers so many serious chronic illnesses and potentially terminal illnesses. And then they go, okay, we'll get you medical notes to show that obviously you have got this condition. And then bang, you get couriered every month on your door. And it's just... And it's really important. And I'm glad I've mentioned it in the book, because I think it's a disgrace. If there's something that works, why shouldn't it be available for people? So all of you, it's ldnresearch.org.uk. Give it a look. What harm is it going to be? Your doctor may prescribe it where you live, but if not, 20 quid, really? That's nothing a month. If it's going to get you up and about, And my mum couldn't believe it, because I remember phoning and going, I'm coming to see you. She goes, what? I said, I'm coming to see you. He goes, what do you mean? What, are you getting a bus? I said, no, I'm going to drive across to you. And I did suffer getting there, but the fact was I could do it and get to my mum's. And that was mostly about a week after taking it. It's incredible stuff, incredible stuff. So, if you have got a chronic condition, even arthritis, chronic pain, anything, there is no harm in trying it. No side effects at all. You can come off it whenever you want. You just have to find the right dosage that suits you. And you're off and away. My brother's on it as well, because he's got the same condition I have, and he's a medium as well. Honestly, I think it's a medium disease.
But it's quite interesting that you said that, because again, my extensive research, I haven't got a medium on my list, but there was only 4 different careers that people did that now have ME or fibromyalgia, and it was nurses, police force, counsellors,
Yes.
Or like, as you say, like light workers, like holistic therapists?
How interesting. I love your market research.
Thank you, lovely. Thank you.
Oh my God, do you know what? It doesn't surprise me. If you said, guess what careers, because when I managed to go to one meeting at the ME clinic, which was absolutely, it's about as useful as a trapdoor in a canoe. It was just people sitting and moaning, and I ended up laying on the floor crying because I was in so much pain. Anyway, I looked around, all of the people were empaths or driven in their work, successful people or people that were cared for other people. And I think that I've got this theory, I'm sure I've shared it on my YouTube channel, I can't remember if I put it in the book or not, but I've got this theory that we have got such a high vibration within us because we're connected to obviously a divine energy. And I don't think it mixes well with the heaviness of our body. Yeah. And even though Juliannis explained to me that we have two parts of our soul, there's a divine side, which he calls the lion and mouse. There's the mouse, which is the quiet voice that listens for divine inspiration. And then there's a lower part, which is our ego, the base chakra, that helps us to, maneuver ourselves around the earth plane and deal with our experiences we have. But I think because we're so top heavy with this divine energy, I don't think it sits well with the human body. And it's like almost encaging this spirit that's so light and so out there. And I just think we end up suffering because of it. And I think that's why we're so tired, because our bodies can't maintain this high vibration we have. And even if you're not a light worker, look at the jobs that you've just said. They're all empaths. They're all people that want to help. They're all giving their energy for the greater good. So they're most probably all light workers, whether they know it or not. Yeah. And I really do think, honestly, nearly every person I know who is a healer or a medium have got this condition. It's incredible. Really incredible. So
yeah, because that's the careers, like nurse, police, counsellors, holistic therapists. But if you go back to when I said to the people that got in contact with me, like, how did it start, you think? And it was the physical trauma, like the car crashes, falling down the stairs and things like that. But a lot of them was strong perfectionism, looking after ill children, being a single mum, sole carer for a loved one. So that's still giving, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. You're just sacrificing yourself for others. And this is, again, what I used to do. We do have a tendency to people please when we have low self-esteem. Yeah. And I always had low self-esteem. That was knocked into me during my teenage years. And so I was always had an exceptionally low opinion of myself, but I hid it very well with my armour. And now I'm not selfish by any means at all. I still give and give and give as much as I can that my body will allow me to do. But there's times when you have to pull it back and start owning your boundaries. So for instance, if I know I'm really tired, the phone's off. And some of my newer friends who I've met here, bless her heart, I'm going to say her name, Louise. She spoke to my other friend, Helen, and said, I don't think Nicky likes me because she won't pick the phone up. And she went, I think you need to know a bit more about M.E. She goes, you need to get her book. I gave her the book because I refuse to use any of my energy up. Whereas before I'd be like, oh my God, they won't like me. They'll think whatever. And I text them and say I'm sleeping, or sometimes I don't even want to do that. It's too much. So I just shut off. And it's either a box set, or it's sleep, or it's meditation, or it's listening to angel music, and I don't connect. And so the old me would find that selfish, and I'd worry that people wouldn't like me for it. Now I'm owning it and saying, no, I need this now. And so I've never been so closely connected to myself in all my life, both in what I eat, what I drink, what I choose to do. And I love going to bed because, and this is another positive change that came about with it, is I can't wait to get into bed and I think, right, what am I going to do tomorrow? And I plan 3 practical things that I have to get done, or it will be, preferential if I got it done. And one thing that's going to make me feel really happy, whether it's a walk on the beach, to cuddle with the dogs, a bath, whatever it is. And even if I don't achieve the 3 practical things I've planned to do, at least I've tried and I've had the mindset to do it. And then don't beat yourself up if you don't do it. It's easy for me, I suppose, because I am, I don't have children. I don't have anybody dependent on me. And I can't imagine how hard it is. However, all I would say to people like that is you've got to start reaching out and ask for help. And that was the hardest thing I had to do because I'm a survivor. Yeah. I was this angry, feisty, I don't need anybody. And now I'm a nightmare. Can you go and pick up my prescription, please, Helen? All right. And I'm quite happy now to say I need help. Whereas before, I would rather have cut my leg off than do that. And so I get these emails from people. I said, you've got to ask for help. And another one is, I know this sounds awful. I'm not going to say who it was. I've had a couple of these actually where they say, oh, my husband says I'm lazy and says, oh, there's nothing wrong with me. I've got to get myself together. I said, you know what I'd say to your husband is either you read out about my condition or get out.
Yeah.
That would be it. I would be just literally black and white. You can't have people in your life questioning your condition. Yeah, my mum was a nightmare to begin with. If you stay awake all day, you'll sleep at night. And if you like have a bit of exercise, it will loosen you up, because it doesn't do you any good laying in bed all day. And I used to go, Mum, for Christ's sake, listen to me. Either watch a video on you. I'm not looking at any of that old stuff on there. So like, listen to, and I used the times I used to have to tell her, and eventually she got it.
Yeah.
She got it and knew that when I needed to sleep, I just slept, and it was as simple as that. When, you know, I had an interview last week and I knew I could not get through it. So the old me would have been, oh my God, come on, you just get a Red Bull, come on, you can do this, take loads of painkillers, you can get through it. And I just went, I'm sorry, I'm absolutely exhausted, my throat's weak, I can't do this, done. Yeah. And it either happens again or it doesn't. Obviously it's been booked in again for a couple of weeks, but it's owning it. And owning the people around you and saying, well, hang on a minute, this is my condition. If you don't like it, we've got a problem. Yeah. You know, and I'm not saying start leaving your husbands and wives, but you can't live in an environment like that. That's almost like a mental abusive environment. Yeah. You're being criticised for a condition, you know, that you have. And the problem is, this is why I love the fact the book's getting out everywhere, because of the awareness side of it. Because there's so many people also have emailed saying, I can't believe what you went through. I can't believe it's such an awful condition. They just think you're a bit tired. As you said earlier, yuppie flu. Yeah. That's everybody thought I'm lazy, you know, they're just having a bit of sleep, they need to get themselves together. And I even thought it. I remember years ago, someone who came to one of my shows who had it, and I thought, well, get over it. Do you know what I mean? Just push yourself on, force yourself to do stuff. And I was really like that until it happens to you. You don't really know or care, you know, about it. But I would say, if anybody's got friends or family that have got it, find out about it, because we need people that are empathic for our situation and supportive of it. We do not need the extra stress of you judging us or giving us advice on what to do when you don't know anything about it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And so that's what you need to do. Learn about this condition. And do you know what? I just know there are hundreds of thousands of people that just think they're getting older and they're a bit tired and they're a bit achy, that are undiagnosed as well. I think it's just a massive pandemic, to be honest with you. And I'm glad that I'm glad of Twitter and I'm glad of Instagram, where people, the millions missing, you know, put their faces out there, because there's a girl that I cried my eyes out. She's been in bed since she was 10, and she had her 21st birthday on oxygen, laying with ME and fibromyalgia, never left her bed. That's all she does, is just lay in her bed, because she physically can't get up or out and she's on oxygen. All she's doing is basically her energy's just keeping her alive, and that's it. And that's the seriousness of this condition. And yet we can't get the drugs we deserve. That just doesn't make sense to me at all. Doesn't make sense to me, especially the people that can't afford it. You know, 20 quid to some people is a lot of money. Yeah. You know, and likewise, I encourage people to claim disability, get a blue badge, because again, the problem is another thing that's happening, without me getting on my soapbox, but I get so many people say that they're not giving me PIP, they're not giving me any benefits because they think I'm okay, because there's a draconian system where you are rated if you're disabled or not. So how far can you walk? Well, I can't, because I'm in pain and I'm exhausted. No, but can you walk? Yeah, right. Well, you're not disabled then. Well, I can. Yeah. I mean, like, it's a nightmare, because it's not a permanent disability. You know, because now I'm sitting here and I've got my makeup on and I'm dressed and I'm all full of energy. In an hour's time, I could be in bed completely not able to do a thing for the weekend. Yeah. And this is a problem with the condition. And we've just got to keep fighting, you know, speak to your local, I spoke to my local MP, speak to your local MPs and start fighting this and saying, I deserve to get disability benefits. I deserve to get a disabled badge. It's all about what you feel you deserve. So that's where it starts, is self-love. Surrender to your situation, love yourself, and from that you'll get the strength to say to people, don't want you in my life, do want you in my life, I do want to appeal my decision, I do want to do this, or whatever, you know. Yeah, that's what it's all about. There's always positive change, you know. yeah, don't get me wrong. I had a couple of days ago where I was in so much pain and so exhausted. I'd obviously overdone the interviews, and I'm always on social media trying to get the book out there. And I just slumped, and I just had a bit of a cry. And I thought, my God, come on, just give me a break. Let me get through this. And then I thought, no, hang on a minute. This is going to lead to more emotion and a behaviour. So I put on, can't remember what it was. It made me laugh, on the television. Lit some candles, got me essential oils on, had a cuddle with my fur babies, and like, yeah, I'm happy again now. And so it's just nipping it, you know, it's getting the mindset out of your head before it starts taking you down to sub-basement 569.
I think it's so important though, that, because I know you've just shared how you went to a doctor, rubbish, then you went to another doctor, amazing. And I would, if anyone takes anything from today's talk, it would be that if you don't get heard the first time, just keep going. I mean, you do matter. And
Absolutely,
it is,
right.
I trust that it will happen. Like, even with me, I know you've diagnosed me with ME today, but the doctor thinks it's long COVID. But I've been fighting, pushing to be seen. Nobody would see me. And it's been going on for 12 weeks. It's only my boss at work. She said, like, do you know what, love? You're getting worse, not better.
Yeah.
And suddenly actually, it's the doctor that not seen me, because nobody sees you this year, do they? But
Mine
spoken
do.
to on the phone, do they? Oh no. So it's somebody that prescribed me a medicine that hadn't worked. But yesterday, it must be my 5th time saying, like, seriously, I feel really ill. That they went, right, we're going to do everything. And I've been referred to everything. So if you don't get heard the first time, just keep fighting, pushing
Absolutely.
with that last bit of energy that you have in you.
I think so, because don't get me wrong, I was just a crippling mess for 5 years. I was absolutely horrific. I keep reading my book and I cannot believe how bad I was and what I went through. I'm just a completely different person now. However, what I have also learned is a bit of the old detectives come back in me, where it's like I phone up, because I started getting a lot of cold sores because I was getting run down, and a bloody mask. Do you know what I mean? Wearing a mask. And so it'd been going on for 6 weeks. One went, one come up, and I'm like, for God's sake. And because you've got obviously autoimmune system's a bit rubbish, I'm thinking this is just going to get worse. It started going inside my mouth. So I phoned up, and I say, and don't get me wrong, though, they're brilliant, my surgery anyway. And what is it about these blinking secretaries, you know, that answer the phone, not secretaries.
Oh, the receptionist, yeah.
You have to have an arsehole degree to be there on one of them. However, mine at the surgery are amazing. So they say, well, do you need to see a doctor? I said, no, I don't need to see a doctor. I need him to phone back. I need antiviral drugs. I have a chronic condition, and I really need this because I have got no quality of life at the moment, because I can't eat, I can't drink, and I want this now, please. So I am telling them.
Yeah.
What I used to do is, because they make you feel like a hypochondriac.
Yeah.
So I'd go and go, oh, my ME, and you could see their face go, oh Christ, here we go. They are a nightmare. A lot of doctors are like that, and it's disgusting. And they need a wake-up call, and they need educating on it, because it's such a, you know, if you just look at the logistics of it, or statistics, 45,000 sufferers of MS, 260,000 sufferers of ME and fibromyalgia. Why are we not getting a say in anything? Anyway, and so I used to go, oh, right, okay, yeah, well, have this will work. And I'm like, okay. And then now I'm like, well, no, I'm not having that. I don't want any more medication. You need to sort something else out with me. You know, and they go, okay, no problem. And I even got a text message. It's on one of my YouTube channels. So I went, oh, hang on a minute. I was doing an angel card reading. I'm like, hang on a minute. I was just my doctor texting. She said, oh, I hope that everything okay. If you need anything, just phone. Thank you, doctor. They're bloody brilliant. But I think it's because you've got to own it. And again, it goes down to this self-love thing. What do I deserve? I deserve a doctor to listen to me. I deserve to have every test under the sun. Yeah. You know, and so when I went in there, I said, look, this is cold sore thing. And obviously that I think I spoke to you about thinking HRT and God knows what. And I'm like, right, do it all. Okay. And all the tests are done, and I was sorted within 2 days. You know, you've got to push yourself. And don't get me wrong, when you are how I was, and still am on various days, you just can't even cope with making the call to the doctors. I get it. But as you said, if it's the one last bit of energy you've got, make yourself be heard with your GPs, make yourself be heard with your MPs, apply for your benefits. And if you don't get it, go to the newspapers, kick off, because I'm telling you now, they treat you disgustingly. I was with a friend who went for a tribunal for PIP, personal independence payment, because he was a very successful landscape gardener. In fact, it's Jay, the one who's in my book, my friend Jay. And he was broken because he lost his job. He's literally laying indoors, and he's got it as well. And it is really horrific. He's really suffering badly with it. And men find it a lot harder because obviously, you know, they're supposed to be the provider and they're supposed to be someone that can get on, but he's just been wiped out by it horrifically. And my heart goes out to him because it's exactly how I was. And well, I remember pushing him into the tribunal, and I've never seen anything like it in my life, Shelley. Honestly, they sat there like, well, you can walk, can't you? Well, no, I can't. No, you can walk, can't you? And then the GP on the tribunal said, have you done the GET therapy? Now, GET is graded exercise therapy. This is, again, draconian, old-fashioned way that they thought would help people with ME, which is do 5 minutes walk, then 10 minutes walk, and then 15, and gradually make your exercise get bigger. And I tried it, it killed me. Yeah. And it's been smashed to pieces by health authorities, doctors, specialists. Don't do it. And this man, right, who should know this, that it doesn't work for us, says, well, you haven't even done GET, so I don't even know what we're sitting here for if you don't want to try to get better. So I stood up and went, excuse me, I said, I don't know what century you come from. GET has been completely eradicated from any treatment to do with ME and fibro sufferers because it doesn't work and it exacerbates our condition. Got exacerbate in there, did you say?
Yeah, that's sexy. Love
oh
that.
It's such a sexy word.
It's a sexy word. It's one of my favourites from nursing, up there with tenismus, which is the sensation of an eating a poo. But anyway, carry on.
Oh, lovely.
I know.
And he said, who are you? Are you a nurse? I went, no, I'm a fellow sufferer. And then they said, well, can you sit down? This isn't your tribunal. I went, we're done here, Jay. I said, you're not going to get anywhere. And so I said, you all disgust me. And then we were asked to be taken out of the court. And I said, I'm so sorry. I said, but that is just ridiculous. So I put a complaint in for him because I could write at the time, and I put the complaint in for him, and he got it.
Oh,
he got his payment in the end because they realised that they were biased, they were judgmental, exceptionally rude, and that is what people are getting exposed to. They're having to prove that they're not very well. What the hell is wrong with that picture? Something has to change. But there's some brilliant MPs, especially one Sonia up in Sonia Chowdhury up in Glasgow, and she's a massive ambassador for us, and she's doing lots of things in Parliament. So watch this space. Hopefully we'll get recognised and get more care. Beautiful, you know, an ME centre would be perfect.
Yeah.
Because the thing that I've noticed in the book is that there's so many people have written messages and said, like, I totally understand it. I know I belong now because I'm feeling what you're feeling. I've got these conditions, I've got these symptoms, I've got these thought processes. And even just to sit with people, not and be miserable, just to sit and have a laugh and go, oh my God, how are you? Yeah. Oh yeah, constipated today. Yeah, I was totally sick yesterday. Laugh about it. You know, even to just have and if I was well enough, oh my God, I would so open a spiritual well-being crossed with chronic illness centre for people to visit and get healing and acupuncture and God knows what. Oh God, if I could do that, but I can't commit at the moment because I'm still got this condition. But yeah, it would be a dream that we get looked after and recognised and respected for what we have to cope with. You know, and lots of people hide it because they just feel they are hypochondriac, and that's so unfair. It's not good.
No, there's so many symptoms. Again, go back to my classic market research. There were so many things. And I've got some here, and it's like, some of it's just like random. One person have it, like a throbbing collarbone, tingling all over, extreme fatigue, insomnia, fibro fog, slurred speech, shaking, feeling cold, dry mouth, thirsty. It's just everything that you can feel like, oh, I've just got a bit of an ongoing cold. Do you know what I mean? There's so much out there. And they do just think like on run down because, you know, I'm looking after 4 kids. Exactly.
And they've actually got this condition because at the moment, because, you know, that's why they call it the invisible illness. Because as you've known, I'm drinking a lot more. I've got dry mouth today and a bit of sore throat. And obviously it's quite weak. I've got, yay, look at us. You're the Thornton Man, Pinky. And it's gin, really. And I've got the left-hand side of all my ribs are screaming at the moment. My bottom left hip is, my ankles are swollen, my toes are hurting. It's random places.
Yeah.
And if I touch my hair up here, the follicles hurt. My scalp is hurting. And you get spots in your scalp that it feels like you just had a hammer bang it once. It's so tender. I don't know what that is. But you don't go on about it. And this is the thing, people don't see what is going on inside because, you know, one, you don't want to whinge about it and go on about it. And two, nobody wants to hear it all the time, do they? So there's a certain extent where you do not say anything, but there's a time and place where you have to.
Yeah.
I am suffering. I've got no quality of life. I'm dragging myself around trying to look after my kids. I need help.
Yeah.
And when I eventually did that, when they pushed me again, I ended up having the best care team from Dartmouth come and look after me. I had someone that come and did like a therapy session, psychotherapy session every week to see how I was going in my home. And then they said, whatever you want, cutting the grass, cooking dinner, we'll come and do it. And it was just incredible. So there is help out there.
Yeah.
Find out what help is out there in your area and bloody grab it. Because the other problem is, you know, it affects young women. And the problem with that is they think, oh God, I feel really embarrassed because I'm young, you know, and it's like, no, own it. Because, you know, I have a gardener come and he goes, oh, you know, I'll do this and do that. I said, I can't do it. It's not that I won't, I can't. So I have a cleaner because I can't do it because that will put me in bed for 2 days. So people think I'm being all precious because you're young and you look well. But, you know, if I did the cleaning, that would be me in bed for a couple of days. So, no, have a cleaner, darling. Love it. Have a gardener. It's only a small little garden. But I can't do it. It's as simple as that. I know that that'll be my spoons gone for the day. Yeah. And now as I'm talking, I'm getting a throbbing, sharp needle pain going through here. But again, you don't tell people. And it's okay. It's okay. So I go, oh, and rather than go, for God's sake, why am I here? I go, oh, I can't acknowledge that. That's fine. I'll put some lavender oil on in a minute. That's fine. And you just got to love yourself no matter how ill you are. It's the most important thing. Most important thing.
Bless you.
You need to listen to all this because I really hope it isn't ME for you. Bloody long COVID. Where did they drag that from?
Well, I don't know. Apparently, when I thought I had COVID, they said I wasn't COVID enough or not interesting enough. They was just sort of like, I said, should I do a test?
You're boring.
Yeah, it's just sort of like, oh God, those ex-nurses are the worst, darling. God, pull yourself together.
I think Lynette's right. Lynette, you're right. I think she's got.
So don't encourage mother. Don't encourage mother. Yes. Bless you. We've had such a laugh today, but I just want to bring the tone down and share a part from your book.
Was that what I'm here for? I didn't even know.
Oh, so you wrote in it because I thought we've had so much laughter, but this part in your book was about living with chronic illness, and I was just like, wow. So you've put, my soul, body, mind, and spirit was slowly dying, and my God, did I welcome death every single day. And bless you, at one point in the book, you scheduled a suicide date for 6 months ahead if you did not get any better. So I just want people to say, like, you know, whilst you're here laughing and having a jolly old time and diagnosing Shelley, that whilst we are laughing, you truly have been there through the journey. You're still on that journey of living with chronic illness. You know, that is, isn't it? Like, I do what you do. I've got 5 spoons to get through the day. But with that last bit of energy, do ask for help. And if you're not heard, just keep asking and asking.
You have to, because you know it isn't going anywhere. This is a brutal fact. You've got an incurable condition and you've got to try and manage it. And I couldn't to begin with. And a lot of people, again, you know, what I didn't want to do was in the book is say, oh, I've sussed it, you know, because that used to really cheese me off. Like people used to send me books and go, read this. I found the cure for it. No, you haven't. Right? And then, no, you haven't. You're talking a load of pants. And then the other one is oh, do this. And they were just so, and I'm not disrespecting other people's books, but I am a bit, but they were so hard reading. They were hard work, you know, geographical stress, mercury poisoning, and you've got to do this, you've got to go and have your teeth out and God knows what. And I'm like, this is just too much. And if I'd had, and I'm not saying this because it's my book, those buggers stopped me from committing suicide, right? But now I'm going to go and kill them in a minute. Shut up! So professional. I'm so professional. So,
it's just the dog's cheering mum on. It's all right. Go, mum.
Nightmare. It's because what happens is they sit at the window and they love barking at people going past, the dog walkers. So, oh my God, I've lost my thread now. So the suicide thing, what was I saying?
Other people's books are crap, love. That was the general theme.
It's not going anywhere. So you have to do it. Yeah. So they were saying, oh, you know, it's all right for you. You're okay. No, I'm not. I'm just surrendered, accepted, and love myself for the condition I've got. And I expect everybody to love me, warts and all that are around me. My partner is just so amazingly supportive. I think he's got it as well. He's in denial, but he has. Anyway, so, and the only escape that I could possibly imagine and dream and fantasize about was suicide and being dead. That was my only escape. I do not want anybody else to be in that situation. That's why I'm so desperate for this to get out to everybody, because I've had so many people say, I'm going to do it. I'm going to kill myself. I'm done. I've got no job. I've got no wife. My children have been taken away. I've had a breakdown. I'm depressed. I can't work. I'm losing everything. And I'm like, I know, I've been there. But to try and get them to trust the process and the universe, that's a whole new kettle of fish. And yes, I did. I used to relish in me, and it was there right next to me on the bedside cabinet, a whole bottle of Oromorph. And I thought, that will do me. I just got to glug it down. And I haven't shared it yet. It's a bit emotional. Haven't shared it yet, but there's a photograph I will share where I literally, first I'd planned the 21st, which was the day that Mina had died, my dog. I planned that, but then things changed because of the Turkey holiday. So that was my friend Dawn and Jamie. So that kind of changed my mindset. But then when I got to the cemetery, that was it. That was my all-time low. And the only thing that stopped me from glugging it down, and I literally had it in my hand, was that my two dogs suddenly come up on my chest and were looking at me. And I actually ended up taking a photo of it because they stayed there forever. And I thought, how could I possibly allow myself to be found dead? Because I wasn't seeing anybody apart from the postman, like, you know, weeks later. And I'd seen that in the police, know what it's like, with two dogs crying by my side. I thought, I can't do it. So they were the only thing which really did stop me from actually doing it, because I saw no other way out. I saw no way out. And so, yeah, we have had a laugh about it, but it was the most horrific mental, spiritual and emotional situation I've ever been in. And I don't want anybody to feel that, but there will be people like it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why I just want to spread this everywhere, because I don't think there's another book like it, because it's so warts and all, and it's really raw. I've literally I've bared my soul. And the reason I did that was because I wanted to show people how badly mucked up I was and how far I've come. It's not worth saying, oh yeah, I was a spiritual medium, you know, everything was great. I needed to show you that I not only had this condition, I had all these demons and the way I used to behave. And, you know, I'm not ever going to hate myself for it, because that was what, you know, there was a reason that I was who I was, and I still embrace that. But to now be in a place where I don't have stress or worry, and I know that whatever I deserve will come to me for the greater good, that's what a place to be in. I'm in a house that's paid for. I live across the beach. I ordered this. I ordered this, my little bungalow, so I could get to the kitchen if I shuffled. I could get to the toilet, get to my bedroom. I didn't order those bloody dogs barking their heads off.
I love that. And the dogs on my chest, and they saved me. Gonna kill him.
Sorry. And my little garden, and I've you know, and I ordered it, and it's all paid for. Don't ask me how. I just don't know how I've got to this space, but I do really. What I did is every time I was pushed or told to do something, I did it. Should I go and tell them to shut up?
No, bless you. I love it personally.
I don't. They're doing it because they know the door's shut. I open it. Shut up.
Well, I reckon it's got to be the most authentic episode. Yeah, I love it personally. Bless you. So I think today, like, we're going to bring it all to a close. Wouldn't it just be her, just keep fighting, to that last bit of energy, just like ask for help, you know.
Definitely.
You do ask about the low dose.
Exactly. Ask about LDN. You'll be told no.
So ask again.
What the LDN organisation suggests is that you actually print it off and take it to them.
Lovely.
I remember one doctor said, I'd like my LDN, please. He goes, well, it's like heroin. It's just an opiate drug. I said, no, it's not. I said, you need to learn a bit more about it if you want to give your opinion to me. Honestly, I'm like a bloody barrister when I go in the doctor's office. I don't have to. My doctors here are amazing, absolutely amazing. They deal with me within the day. And that's because I own it. I've got chronic illness. I'm not putting up with this. I will be bedbound. Give me medicine. Sort this out. And they do it. So yes, it's owning it. But as I say, and I keep going back to it, the one thing I've learned in this process is if you do not love yourself, you won't get anything done. You've got to believe you deserve it. No matter how weak you are, no matter how you feel. If you love yourself and honour what you need, not what everybody else needs of you, not what you have to do to keep people happy. If you own it yourself and think, right, I deserve this, I need to fight for this, then you go for it. If you think, oh no, I've got to worry about him and her and what will they'll say and what they'll do. No, there's people forcing themselves to go to work, and I get it because they're worried about their mortgage. But you know what? Best thing I ever did was just let go and let it all just disappear. Even though I was homeless for 8 months, I don't care, because I knew when all of the spiritual boot camps started, I knew that I was going to be looked after and there'll be a fairy tale ending. And my God, I'm in the fairy tale ending now. Yes, I've got a condition, but I could have, I don't know, I could have cancer, I could have psoriasis, I could have diabetes. I've just got this. So by owning it and saying to people, no, I'm tired. I used to be scared of telling friends I didn't want to go to lunch. I dragged myself through it because I was upset that they, get me up now, go, no, I'm not tired. You want to come around here for a cup of tea and watch a movie? Fine, but I'm not going out. And I don't do it nastily. I'm just owning it out of my own self-love for my own condition. And that's what I want to reach people with. And it's all mind. You can't change your physical body, but you can change that. You can change your mind and your mindset and turn a negative into a positive. Every time some negative comes in, you've smashed it. It's so easy. It's so easy. I love it. I think, yes, I'm tired today. I'm so box setting it. I'm going to get this thing about galaxy counters. So I think I'm going to have 5 of them. I'm not going to have too many. Have a herbal tea, put my feet up and own it. Yes, I'm tired today, darling. I'm box setting it. Bye. Rather than, oh my God, why am I so ill? I can't do anything.
Yeah.
Get rid of that. You've got it. Get over it. Accept it. Adapt. Move on and own it. That's the way to do it.
Yeah. What Nicky said. We're going to, Bless you. Thank you so much for joining us today. I've absolutely loved it. I love sharing like random words with, fellow brain foggers. So thank you.
If you enjoyed today's episode, please ensure you subscribe and do leave a positive review. If you would like to create your own positive changes, head on over to shelleyfnight.com and you can buy yourself a copy of Positive Changes, a self-kick book. If you want some positivity until the next show, come join us over on Facebook. That's Shelley F. Night, Life Goes On. So I've been Shelley F. Night, and as always, you've been amazing.